And we're live. And my mic was still muted. I'm like looking at my audio monitoring as I switched over to webcam, and I see the monstrosity that is my hair right now. And then I realized that no audio was coming through. Then I was like, oh, well, my mic is probably muted. Sometimes I think I'm probably never going to really get good at this, but oh well. So tonight, doing something a little bit different. Being marched on by Haley here. You gonna settle down or what? Huh? Yeah. All right. So I've tried this game once before, because I had watched a lot of people play it and stream it, and they would lose their mind. I saw a lot of like the rage games before, and I always would be the type of person who'd watch it and be like, it's probably not that bad. And this was one that really stood out to me. It's like, how hard could it really be? Like, I feel like they're just like messing stuff up, but the reality is like, no, the people who play games like all the time and they have difficulty with this game, and there's a reason for that. It really is quite challenging, and that's very limited play time as well. But figured I'd give it a shot tonight. It's late. I'm tired. I won't be streaming long tonight, but I wanted to do something, and I figured why not do something that I don't get too invested in. Subnautica has been great. It's a huge time sink, though. We're on the verge of like really doing like some seriously in-depth searches and tracking down the life pods, and I mean there's a whole slew of things to do right now in that game. So I didn't really want to rush any of that. So decided, do something different, do something something quick, simple, and relaxing. Yeah. So I'll get frustrated, but I won't be like raging. Well, I mean, I don't think I will be. So as we can see here, I guess I don't have a save file on this computer. I think the only place I tried it was on my laptop, which I still haven't really shared the story about my laptop, but it's an epic enough story that it's worth waiting on. So we will talk about that probably on one of the computer system streams that I'm going to be doing, because I have some hardware changes I need to make here at the house. So, all right, so we're gonna get and start our new game. There we go. So the tricky thing is that like your mouse is localized to the head of the hammer, and based on the amount that you move your mouse, you get different like forces of the movement in the game. Yeah. All right. That wasn't too bad. No, you won't. Oh man, this is when I really wish I had like a bigger mouse pad area. I don't even have a mouse pad down.
There's no feeling more intense than starting over. If you deleted your homework the day before it was due, as I have, or if you left your wallet at home and you have to go back after spending an hour in the commute. If you won some money at the casino and then put all your winnings on red but it came up black. If you got your best shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then immediately dropped food on it. If you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered that they just returned to their original view. Starting over is harder than starting up. If you're not ready for that, like if you've already had a bad day, then what you're about to go through might be too much. Feel free to go away and come back. I'll be here. Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to stop and quit the game. Don't worry, I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
Yeah, so this game's just always saving. There's really no, like, the physics are just absolutely insane in this game. So I've seen people, like, do this game really, really, really well. Or really, really fast, even. People, believe it or not. Of course, I mean, it's not surprising, right? Speed players and or speed runs of like every game exist, but should be one of the rules of the internet anymore. Yeah, and that's the other thing that's like weird. Okay.
Oh, you just lost a lot of progress.
No, I didn't.
That's a deep frustration.
Yes, I did.
Real punch in the gut.
It's okay. It's all right. Okay, all right. There's like a nice tactic to doing the whole like hammer swing, just like that, you know? No. Yeah, if you're not moving the mouse, then the center of focus returns to the head of the hammer. Which makes it really weird, because if you're like trying to gear up for a certain movement, you actually can't really do that. Your movements have to be like pretty well defined. No. 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 Most people that I've watched play this, I should say, they struggled a long time with the game. Which, I guess I'd be lying if I didn't say that, like, the ridiculous levels of disappointment that they would feel didn't add to the amusement of the game. But back then, prior to having tried it, I genuinely did think that it was a good bit of acting, just, you know, just playing it up some. But no, this game is, it really is as hard as people make it look. And anyone who makes it look easy, that they're lying. Perfect. What's annoying is that I was already up here once. And the worst thing about this, having watched like the playthroughs and everything, I already know what is to come. And knowing that is making this so much more painful, because this is so easy.
This game is a homage to a free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking. The author of that game was Jazuo, a mysterious Czech designer who was known at the time as the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages of found objects. designers slap them together very quickly and freely, and they're often too rough and unfriendly to gain much of a following. They're built more for the joy of building them than as polished products.
Alright, there we go. There we go.
In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game. It's built almost entirely out of found and recycled parts, and it's one of the most unusual and unfriendly games of its time. In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with a hammer. And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has certain essential properties that give the game its flavor. No amount of forward progress is guaranteed. Some cliffs are too sheer or too slippery, and the player is constantly, unremittingly in danger of falling and losing everything.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. It's those failures that really are unfortunate. And I mean, this one as well could feel a little bit better.
Oof, sorry about that.
The sad thing is, too, is that I really like the narration of this. I saw most people that, you know, start doing really badly, they begin to really hate the narrator. But I actually highly appreciate all of the stuff that he has to say about even the failures. I think that it's so like a lot of the gamers that I've seen beat this, and I'll call them gamers. I mean, that's what they are. I mean, they game so much more than I do, and I like to consider myself a gamer, but I'm not near as active as most people anymore. But they seem to miss the point of the game or something like that, because like he goes on to explain that like there really is no point to progress. Like, this is what the game is. It's just trying to climb. Getting to the top is just, I guess, the end, but isn't the point of playing a game supposed to be the fun of playing it? The challenge of playing it? Not really the end of the game. I mean, I look back on my childhood when I gamed all the time, and the games that I used to play back then, a lot of them I never beat. They were like so difficult and unforgiving. There was no save files. They would last for hours, and if you died 3 times, you started the entire game over. I mean, it was just a lot different than gaming is today. Nowadays, oh no! Nowadays, you beat games every week. You buy another title. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, at the core of it, a game should be challenging. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all games need to be challenging. Some games are just more just like a graphic novel. I actually really enjoy that kind of a game. Oh, I'd like to put my body down, please. Yes, just like that. Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Oh, it happened again. Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it goes on and it talks about a lot more than just the point of progress kind of being meaningless, but it also goes on to explain that, like, what is the point of, I mean, I guess of it all. You know, digital content is so plentiful anymore that you could make the most stellar video game. AAA title that makes some publisher, you know, millions or billions even. And at the end of the day, that game is going to get very little attention. I mean, it'll get a lot of attention. But years from then, probably not.
You can hit the escape key if you need to change the mouse sensitivity.
I think I'm okay. I think I'm just bad at it, you know what I mean? Okay. Maybe I do need to change the mouse sensitivity. I don't know. I feel like I had this swing process kind of working for me. This is such a wacky game concept as well. It's like artistically. Now, I didn't ask for that. Okay, now I should be able to just simply... Look at that. And this dude's gotta be crazy buff, right? I mean, he's carrying himself in a cauldron of water up a mountain with a hammer. And he's able to do this kind of stuff. That's impressive. No matter how you look at it. I really just want to be down, please. Okay. This is, And that's also the weird phenomenon, is that, you know, like, I got up here so much
This
easier.
thing that we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. Mary Pickford.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people find the music and his voice and his, like, input to be condescending, and I'm sure maybe it's intended to be, but it's also kind of all true. I mean, when I stop playing this tonight and never play it again, or at least I won't be playing it regularly, you could see that me not playing it could be the real sign of failure, right? But falling, it's just kind of part of the game.
Get nasty over there, boy. Going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad.
No.
Going down the road feeling bad, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Oh,
Bash my head in a couple times. Why did I do that?
down in the jail on my knees. Down in jail on my knees. Down in jail on my knees. And I'm going to be treated this way. They feed me on cornbread and cheese. They feed me on cornbread and cheese.
You know, other than the fact that I think this music may end up getting a copyright claim on my video, I don't mind the music being played. That worked out. That didn't. That didn't work out. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay.
$10 shoe fits my
Big,
feet.
wide swings.
$10 shoe fits my feet. $10 shoe fits my feet, and I ain't going to be treated this away. Going where the weather suits my clothes. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes. I'm going where the weather suits my clothes, and I ain't going to be treated this away.
Oh, man.
Calm down, boy, calm down.
I guess the feeling of being able to progress through the level, see different things, is desired, right? But it does still beg the
The soul
ask,
would have no rainbow
why?
had the eyes no tears. John Vance Cheney.
Because at the end of the day, if I make it to the next section, the point of the next section is going to be the same as this section. That was really awful. Please. Let me up. I want to use like WASD and like kind of hop around that way. Where you going, bug? Alright. Now I don't have a cat on my lap to make an excuse as to why I'm doing so poorly. That was such a nice jump up. Of course I would. And... oop. Okay. And then... yeah. No. Why is your arm not extending as much? So nerve-wracking. Okay. I didn't want this. Alright. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. Am I feeling it at all? Maybe. Maybe a little. I might be a little frustrated inside. But it's not like I can't really blame the game. I mean, like, this is what the game is, so it is what it is. Now, I disagree heavily. No. Let me up here. Don't. Yeah, the mouse control is genuinely crazy how sensitive it is. Okay. Round that way.
Whoop.
It's fine. Oh, I know what you mean, man.
Whoop.
And it's also strange because, like, your mouse is controlling basically the head of the hammer. Or rather, the force of the head of the hammer.
Whoop.
No, you will not. I'm not thrilled with my placement here. Oh, why are you doing this to me? See, and there we have it, right? I feel so accomplished to have gotten up on top of that house. I've done it before. Yeah, well. No. Where am I
The
landing?
pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal. C.S. Lewis.
Yeah. Alright, this ain't bad. Being here, this isn't so bad. Okay, this is a risk. You have to jump here. But you don't need to do that. What are you doing? Come on now. Oh my. Perfect. Okay. And then you see, you start getting that momentum, that chug.
No.
Fine. The problem is that you can move your mouse in the direction that you want the force of the hammer to go. And this is the one thing that I noticed.
I feel within me a peace above all earthly dignities, a still and quiet conscience. William Shakespeare.
So I've noticed when I was watching other people play it, is that they would get insanely mad because, like, they moved the hammer a different way and it should have worked. So, right, like I was saying, the mouse controls the head of the hammer, or the force, rather, around the hammer. Okay. But the force doesn't necessarily have physical context, so I can swing my mouse around for days. It doesn't matter. But the hammer has a physical representation in the game world. And if it gets stuck on things...
If you need to take a break, it's okay. I've saved your progress.
Oh, I know you have. And I appreciate that.
You cannot now believe that you will ever feel better. But
I
this is
feel
not
fine.
true. You're sure to be happy again. And knowing this, truly believing it, will make you less miserable now. Abraham Lincoln.
And it's actually full of, like, good inspirational quotes. It's just that I think a lot of people miss the message of it because they are frustrated and angry about the game at the time that they're being read to you. So it kind of comes off as, like, a little condescending. But I don't know if it's intended to. I mean, it might be that he just wanted to read it or say these things to be supportive. I think we've all been there, right? When you're super frustrated, someone's trying to be supportive, and you kind of don't necessarily take that the way that you probably should. Frustration does a lot of negative to us. What are you doing? Okay, there we go. Nope, and okay. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. Yes, yes. That's fine. That one's a little rough. No, no, no. Stop! No! Alright. Fair enough. Probably should see if there's like a stream mode, right? Music. Extreme. Probably. Shouldn't go changing the mouse sensitivity after I've already been going, but I didn't change it by much. Okay. Oh. Alright. Just too much. It's just I went a little too quick. Why are you doing this to me? Why did it keep sliding? It's my stupid cauldron of water. And that's the other thing too, right? Most games, like, you have like I want to release like this thing that I'm holding. In this game, there is none of that. Like, you're always controlling the force on the hammer. So if you become lax for even just a moment, settle down. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. It is interesting, actually streaming or making content at all. Like, you know, quality of content is debatable, of course. don't necessarily think that I'm making, like, the most entertaining stuff here. But it does change the perspective as a player of these games. I can't say that I feel like there's a lot of pressure to...
Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. Mary Fry.
Outstanding. That actually completely wiped everything I was thinking out of my head. Quality of content. And I'm not good. Oh, yeah. Changes your perspective on playing these games. You know, because I don't really feel like I have to do better because I'm streaming or anything like that, but... Oh. No.
To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. Friedrich Nietzsche.
I could see that. Okay.
No.
That's fine. Yeah, like anytime you fall, you definitely have that. I'll just kind of sporadically move my body around in hopes that I get back to where I was, but you know, it doesn't usually help you out. Okay. Calm down. Hey. I also was never really sure about the title of this. I know that Bennett Foddy is the narrator. And he talks to you. Oh, like this is you in here. So I guess this is supposed to be a representation of me. But for a while, I always wondered if this was supposed to be Bennett Foddy in the cauldron. But that wouldn't make nearly as much sense. Oh, I've made it. Do you know how much that means? Nothing. It means all of nothing. I feel like taking a breather is also a huge risk because then you're just kind of... I'm going to bump that mouse and I'm going to go soaring off the side of the cliff here. Okay. Okay, perfect.
Life is a mosaic of pleasure and pain. No! Grief is an interval between two moments of joy. Peace is the interlude between two wars. You have no rose without a thorn. The diligent picker will avoid the pricks and gather the flower. Satya Sai Baba.
Okay. Just confused as to why I can't get my hammer up onto that rock. Okay. I can't believe that it was that quick. All the way back, too. Like, it couldn't have just been a little fall. No, no, no. Yeah. Whoa. What? Back and forth. Just, what is that? Why am I going? Ugh. Okay. It's a speed thing. It's all in how fast I'm moving my mouse.
Oh. No.
Good. The faster you move it, the harder the force, potentially the larger the gain, but also more likely the larger the failure. Or the fall, rather. Okay, that's fine. Okay, this is all right. Okay. And then we'll lift this up. It's also weird how the force, like the direction you have to move your mouse. I feel like I forget what I'm controlling and how I need to control it. Because when I really put my mind to it, it's like, okay, I just gotta move it like this, and I'll move that way. And I can figure it out. No. No. Whew. So I got back up here kind of quick. Oh, Mike. Please. Alright, listen. There's... Why? Why? Okay. Alright, this is fine. Ease it down. And of course, there's been a lot of games now that kind of follow the same model here. They are fun, but challenging to say the least. And definitely they fit into that rage category. I think that it's super easy to get incredibly frustrated at these kind of games. Alright, let's see if we can do this jump. The coffee cup. Oh, my coffee cup. What if you would have landed on the coffee cup?
Anyway, when you start sexy hiking, you're standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire rest of the game. It might take you an hour to get over that tree, and a lot of people never got past it. You prod and you poke at it, exploring the limits of your reach and your strength, trying to find a way up and over. And there's a sense of truth in that lack of compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can be completely confident in your ability to get through them once you have the correct method or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time. In that sense, every pixelated obstacle in sexy hiking is real.
That's exactly it, right? You know, games almost make things too easy anymore, where it's not a feeling of accomplishment as much as it's just more of a you've learned a pattern or something like that, and you can just kind of power through it. I think it's kind of broken games a bit, actually. So having stuff like this, it does keep it real. Okay. This is one of those fake safe feelings here, because you've got rocks like all around you, but you can propel yourself off of the side here to the left very easily. I'm sure I will demonstrate.
The obstacles in sexy hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating. But I'm not sure Jazzuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing. A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
Yeah, very well put. No. No, stop that. Stop moving. Stop. And yeah. I know I'm the one doing it this whole time. Why? But knowing that there's a summit, right, does mean that there's a goal. It does mean that there's something that you're striving to get to. And the fact that you fall means that you've kind of failed. If you're playing, like, I don't know, classic Mario game or something like that, and you are trying to get to the castle at the end of the set of 4 levels, and you die on the 3rd level... Save. You feel like you failed. You know, it's a very similar feeling. Falling down means that you have to redo what you've done, and you feel bad about that, but... Okay. Alright. I want it to be known that I did not intentionally put any force behind that particular jump. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that I got up this far. Please. I'd like to get up on top of this stone. But I feel as if...
When you're building a video game world, you're building with ideas. And that can be like working with quickset cement. You mold your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like rock. And at that point, you can't change the world. Not without breaking it into pieces and starting fresh with new ideas.
Okay.
You've done this part before. You know it's possible. Just do what you did the first time.
Right. You see, that's the funny thing, isn't it? It doesn't really feel possible. No, 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 no. Come on now. And I also wonder, do people feel like they ever get good at this game? Is this a game that you truly just master and you feel good about afterward? Or is it always just like a bit of a happenstance challenge? Okay. No. That's not what I did. I know you think it's what I did. No. But, you know what? We were there. We were there for a brief moment. We had the hammer on the top of the light. That's what we need. No. Stop that. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to jump to get my guy. You think? Oh my goodness. It's the inadvertent, like just touching the ground the wrong way movements. That really is like the absolute worst. Because you spend time carefully placing everything and then... Okay. Okay. See, I can't get the hammer around me that way. If I do, I will push myself downward, like I just did anyway. Okay. All right. Oh boy. Why? It's not really an area that I can wait in, is what it really comes down to. It's a lot of trial and error as well, like trying to determine like what speed and pressure and angles. But you don't have any, you don't really have any way of knowing what you're doing is gonna work or not. And it could like lead you to a very bad loss in progress. Yeah, that was nice until I messed it up. Please. I deserved that. I was really being very sporadic. Like that. I'd like to know who lives in that place right there. It's gonna be a pretty cool place. Up all this like height. Just built into a rock like that. Okay. Easy does it. Easy does it. We gotta be extraordinarily careful. And no fast movements until we're 100% ready.
For years now, people have been predicting that games would soon be made out of prefabricated objects, bought in a store and assembled into a world. And for the most part, that hasn't happened, because the objects in the stores are trash. I don't mean they look bad or that they're badly made, although a lot of them are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context, and once the moment is gone, they transform into garbage. In the context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
So yeah. Think. I think I might call it here. I've been an hour in, but I've made actual progress. I feel like this is a very interesting spot to just kind of maybe end at. I don't want to... So the interesting thing is that tree that I was standing on or sitting on there at the edge on that little peak. If I'd have gone over that, there's a chance that you fall and then you hit that other rock that I was on right by the little red metal plate, and you keep falling and you're all the way back down at the basically at the very beginning. I'm sure it will happen. May happen here very soon, since I didn't stop and now I'm up here. Yeah. I'm done here. I'm starting to feel like there's more on the line, which is stupid because again, it's the whole point, you know. But yeah, what he was just saying there at the end, the last comment that he was making about just like store content is just like basically trash, and it's true. Like the stuff that you see laying around in this game, it can be used anywhere. Like you have that little gas can thing there. If it's just a bunch of like assets that don't really hold a lot of value here in this game. They're just literally being used to populate and pollute the area. I had to stop flailing around. I think that perfect. I think that like store content is impressive. I think that some of it is really good. Um, you look at like the Unity store and see some of the assets that you can buy out there. It's impressive the stuff that people put together, and even more impressive, like how much they're willing to sell it for. Some of it's very inexpensive, and you can take a lot of that stuff and put together a really cool game. If you have a story component to that game and you tell the story well and you use a lot of store assets, like, oh well, it's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But what he's referring to there, I think, is more the idea that a game that's been designed ground up and had every character, weapon, building, city, vehicle, everything designed, planned for, modeled, built, and used in a game. Those images are the images that become iconic, that become memorable. And they're used in the way that they need to be used for the story that that game is trying to deliver. Look back on like games like the Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy VII. I know like some of the imagery that they used, even on the like original release, even though the graphics weren't nearly as good as they could be today. Back then, some of the imagery they used to capture like the city of Midgar was pretty incredible. And as time went on, there have been movies and several pieces of artwork and different cameos in games. I mean, it's incredible how much the imagery from those specially curated assets, how much of an impact that stuff can have. Whereas a lot of this stuff, it doesn't. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, his point is accurate, and I like thinking about it that way almost. Kind of makes you start questioning what makes a good game a good game. But I do think that it's not necessarily a determining factor if a game uses those kind of things, that it's going to be a bad game. It just might not have as much of an impact visually, or much of an impact as like a unique game in those regards. But like I said, have a really great story, deliver it really well, and use all stock assets. It's still going to be a great game because the game was the story. Now, if you don't have a story, and you don't have anything unique about the gameplay, and you're literally just throwing assets onto a screen and calling it a game, then yeah, I mean, it's obviously not going to hold water against like any other title out there. Even this, I mean, the Getting Over It game, visually speaking, is nothing incredible, but it is in its own way. And the story that is behind it, even though the gameplay is frustrating, irritating, very challenging, you can look past that. You can look past the assets, and you can find what he's talking about and think about it. And it holds value in that sense. So not every game has to be a AAA incredible release with top-notch custom 3D graphics to be worth playtime. So something I definitely want to explore more with the channel here as well. Love to get into like some of the good RPG Maker games. There are some that have been made with a lot of care, a lot of love, and you can tell, is it The Witch's House? I think they redid that in MV, which would be interesting to play because RPG Maker MV, that is. Because I wonder if they've changed it at all. I watched a playthrough of it. It was pretty good. And The Crooked Man as well. It's another RPG Maker game. that, I mean, none of them on their own like had like mind-blowing graphics, but the story, the way they put it together, really good stuff. So hopefully we can explore some of those someday. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna do it for me tonight. I don't want to play this game so much that I actually start feeling a little bit of a rage inside. And I got to a nice stable place. I knew if I would have lost that progress to that, I would have felt kind of a little bit of a heavier hit. So I'm happy that I got there. I actually did not expect to get that far up. So that was a pretty decently productive night on the game. You know, but yeah. So it's gonna do it for me. Hopefully, anyone who stopped in watching it, hopefully you found something entertaining. Anyone watching in the future, I appreciate you taking the time to do so. And I hope to see everyone in the next stream. See ya.